Yo, it's ODB, our lifestyle podcast. Thanks to everyone that continues to come back here and support us. Please go out to your favorite podcast app and search OLP or Our Lifestyle Podcast. Subscribe. We have free content every single week that we post via our podcast. So this video here, I thought it was really important to take kind of a moment to pay our respects to a legend, really a guy in our scene that so many looked up to. This past week, my family and I, we were over at the NFL Experience here in Tampa. We went over there Thursday evening and we were kind of winding down some of the stuff we were doing, and I received a text. And I was very saddened to hear the news of Mitch Henderson passing. We'll talk a little bit about his some of his contributions to the automotive scene, including this truck that you see here, Ching. You know, it's a tough thing, and I lost my pops a few years ago, and I immediately thought of my dad as well, and hoped that Papa Smurf, as you guys know, if you're avid listeners, hopefully he greeted Mitch with open arms, and it's a sad thing that it happened at such a young age of Mitch's passing. Many of you know Mitch much better than I do. Many of you are very close to him, and I've seen a lot of awesome posts. Everyone from Sketchy and his daughter Carly, all the way over to Not Stock Photo, John. A lot of people paying their respects and kind of talking about his legacy and his memories and funny stories. And I was around Mitch a few times, whether it be at Showfest or one year at Lake Charles, the show that used to be thrown up there, the Lakefront Tour. Always kind of a guy that had an amazing personality, and everybody wanted to be around him. He was a talented person. Many of you know his kind of early beginnings. He shared some of those photos with us and others of the 90s working on his OBS truck. We've shared some of those as well. We've tagged Mitch Henderson Designs. He went on to build awesome stuff. I know, I don't know every piece of his history, but I realized that he also worked back with a few shops. I think Status was one that he was kind of a key partner in. He later went on to form Mitch Henderson Designs. He did some cool stuff. Me as a Lincoln guy, he built 2 Lincolns at one time, which is truly amazing because any Lincoln owner will tell you that's insane, because building 1 Lincoln at a time is enough to drive you bonkers. But Mitch did it. He always just put a lot of effort, I can tell from the builds that I've seen, and he's truly going to be missed. And from our lifestyle podcast to all of you out there, our avid fans and listeners, to his family, friends, and colleagues in this awesome truck scene, and really the automotive scene in general, rest in peace, Mitch. Gone far too soon. Now, I wanted to, in this video, showcase some of the stuff that he's done. And again, I want to thank Mitch for coming on. It was December of 2017. Believe it or not, it was a short time after my dad had passed. I had Mitch on. We had Mitch on. And I had just went up to Michigan to pick up a project. And I remember talking to Mitch, and we have that audio. If you go back and listen, it seems like many years ago now, but it was episode 47. Again, it was December of 2017. If you want to go back, I believe that episode is also on YouTube, and I'll put the link below. The reason why I think that is someone commented on it the other day and said, "R.I.P. Mitch Henderson." You can go back through Podbean, which is our podcast host. Whether you're on iPhone or Android, you can go back and listen to that episode. Now, if you listen via other methods, you may only be able to go back, a year or so. But again, I'll put that link below. I would encourage people to listen to it. Mitch was an awesome guy. And again, what I've done is I spent some time here in my little shop garage, and I pulled out some of the issues that I know that he made an impact on. Now, this truck that you see here on this banner, we paid homage to Mitch. This was one of my favorite trucks ever built. For anybody that was at Showfest and some of the other shows that he took it to, it had taken on a life of its own when it became kind of known as Ching. He had this stand that was made and we paid homage to this build via the girl there with the cards, and that kind of tied in. That was a nod to his display stand. We've posted about this in the past, and we've kind of tagged a lot of folks. I know Final Phase, he's a great listener and follower of ours. He's given us some really good information in the past about, who did certain things, including that awesome stand. And we'll go back and we'll make sure that we reshare some of that for folks to be able to see some of the cool stuff that he did with this truck. Now, we've had a member of his family reach out to us and thank us for the support. And we just obviously just said, hey, we thank Mitch for always supporting what we did and coming on as a guest. We are going to try to work and do something to help the family. So we're in talks right now to do something. And I talked with Mike, my co-host, and of course a key partner here at OLP. We really appreciate the family reaching out to us, and it's really kind of an honor if we could do anything to help, whether it's contribute $1 or if it's to contribute maybe a little bit more. We know our listeners, the Airhead Nation, and the folks that tune into our show every week will kind of get behind the cause as they have with many other things, and we'll do whatever we can to assist. Now, kind of digging through these issues, and I'll kind of pipe in a little bit different video here in just a few minutes, but you got September of 2001. This street trucks, think about this. This was 20 years ago this September. And obviously you got this killer truck on the front, this van, but this is when Mitch's truck started to really kind of be known nationally. And this truck at the time was titled Just for Fun. And another guy that we lost, Courtney Hollowell, shot this truck, text and photos by Courtney. And I want to almost say, it almost looks like it was maybe at Greenville, but Mitch went to shows all over the country. So this was for anybody that would be kind of curious on what issue, if you're looking to kind of dig this one out, or maybe you're looking to purchase it on eBay, September of 2001, which obviously was a tough month for our country. But Courtney Hollowell, rest in peace to the legend. This was when the truck started to take shape here. Of course, you got the feature, and always enjoyed seeing this truck. Now, Mitch, if anybody knows him, the guy was always kind of taking it to the next level, and that's what he did here with January of 2004. So if you think about September of 2001, just a couple of years later, he kind of comes back, and this is when, my understanding is when the truck started to take on that Ching persona. And street trucks cover. So like many trucks, you get featured, and a super nice truck, you saw that a moment ago, and you kind of go back to the drawing board, and then boom, you come out swinging, and Courtney shoots it for the cover. This awesome cover here, first look 2004, Chevy colors exposed, but really the key thing here is Mitch's awesome truck there gracing the cover with those killer wheels, and really my favorite thing, those colors that he picked. Now here on page 47, you see the two-page spread, 47, 48. Even though the feature was known as Identity Crisis, the license plate, I believe, was done by BAD, Build Accessories Direct, back in the day. Those guys are kind of reforming and doing the damn thing. A salute to those legends. But I believe the license plate on it is what had the name Ching. We have a photo of that from Showfest of, maybe 2004, I guess it was. And this was around the time the truck debuted. And of course it said Ching. It had a lot of cool little features and nods. I always remember the poker chip that they did in the door, and some of the little pinstriping and things like that around the gauge cluster. But pretty cool stuff here. You see that two-page spread. Identity Crisis, really, as we all know it, Ching. And that's how we tied in and paid homage to Mitch via the artwork that we commissioned through Graphic Disorder. And this artwork really was our way to pay homage to him with the stand, with the amazing truck. We haven't decided if we're going to reprint anything. That's in some of the talks. I know a lot of people have asked for different merchandise. But at this point, we're going to kind of work through a plan to help the family as much as we can. And, we'll decide, we'll make a decision in the future if that's something that we do. Here you see the next few pages. And what sticks out to me, again, is you got the billet license plate, you got the amazing stereo. He kind of maybe toned down the stereo a little bit from the previous version of this truck. Of course, you got the amazing front end. Those Escalades are classic. And the gauge cluster and dash. Really kind of a major overhaul, if you will, on this OBS truck. So again, here you have January 04, so it's kind of coming out swinging many years ago. And this truck made a huge impact. Now, many of you know, and we did talk about it with Mitch on the podcast, this truck burned down. There was kind of an accident, if you will, that had happened where it was being trailered, and there was a challenge with the battery terminals, and something had happened, and the truck was basically destroyed. The great thing about what I know about Mitch is that that didn't necessarily get him down in terms of his spirits. He forged ahead, and he built a lot of other stuff. Now, what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to pipe in, I know this truck, Ching, it was on Dust Off 04 artwork. That's a shirt that I also own. I used to wear that all the time, and it's kind of what inspired, many may not know, it's kind of what helped inspire us to go back and pay homage to Mitch and this amazing truck here with the artwork that we did. Now, fast forward just a couple of months, and you have basically May of 2004. Obviously, there was a lot of competition with trucking and street trucks at that time, so an amazing truck like this isn't going to go unnoticed. And Truckin said, hey, man, we want to shoot it as well. And you end up here with this amazing feature. This one is also available online. So often if you Google Mitch Henderson Ching or Mitch Henderson 1992 Chevy, you're going to land on this feature, which is on Truckin's website. Now, we always give credit where credit's due. You had photography, Travis Nowak and Dan Ward. And it kind of gave a little bit different perspective on the truck. And again, I appreciated the fact that we got a different perspective with the truck. Although Courtney shot it and it was amazing, this is what high-end trucks, this is the credit that they're due. And this is where you got a chance to see these alternate kind of angles and things like that with the Truckin feature. Now, when we did the artwork and we paid homage to Mitch, Mitch was fully supportive of that, and he was very appreciative of it. We also made sure that he got some of the merchandise, and he posted that up, and it was amazing for me as a guy that was up and coming in the scene and looked up to Mitch for him to give us a nod and post it, and he was so excited about it. And I remember the day I asked him, hey, man, are you cool if we do this artwork? We want to pay homage. We loved your truck. Of course, we always tag you in photos and whatnot. And he said, hey, man, go for it. And that was the kind of attitude that it seemed like Mitch always had. This was one of the stickers that we did that mirrors the actual rear of the shirt artwork. And that's right here. We also did banners as well. Again, if there is a desire, we will talk about a potential reprint of this and work back with the family to help them. But right now we're working on putting something together that we think is going to help. And to all of the family members, our condolences again. Now, the only other thing I can really say that I own that has anything to do with what Mitch did in his kind of professional career with building vehicles is this November of 2013 Classic Trucks. Now, when I saw this, I immediately knew this was the build that Mitch had done. Social media was, becoming bigger and bigger at the time, so we kind of were following along with this. I can't remember if I saw this truck at a show or not, but John Jackson, his good friend at Not Stock Photo, he shot this epic feature, and of course it graced the cover. Mitch, I believe, won the GM Design Award twice at SEMA, and that's no easy feat. And he was a part of several, many builds. And the stuff that he was doing, helping mini truckers and things like that, really some of our roots. Even though he had a full-size truck, many of you know the style of trucks and the bigger wheels and the air suspension and all that really kind of manifested from the mini truck scene. And, Mitch through and through, I think would totally say, hey, he was a mini trucker. He came from this whole truck scene that we all love, that we always say, this scene of ours. Now here you see Benchmark an amazing photo shoot for an amazing truck. And John Jackson is one of the OGs out there in our scene. I know that from posts recently this past few days, they had a very tight relationship. And you can see here what an amazing artist he is behind the lens. I can't even shoot decent photos during the day barely, let alone at night. And John Jackson, from everything I've always followed, he's an amazing, again, artist. But these are a few things that I wanted to point out. There's countless other features and things like that that I could only imagine that exist out there. Of course, the Tech 9, Camaro. I know when he was with, I believe it was Status, he was a part of the team there. They built another Camaro that was hammered. It was a new body style. And so many others. Again, some mini truckers from Texas reached out, one of our good buddies, and said, hey, man, Mitch, because of Mitch, many of us are mini truckers in this area. I know he worked with a lot of shops. He did a lot of work himself, and he's truly going to be missed. So from our lifestyle podcast to his friends and family, colleagues, fans, enthusiasts out there in the scene, we salute Mitch. Rest in peace. And he's gone far too soon. We hope you enjoyed this. Leave a comment below if you knew Mitch or maybe he inspired you. Give us a thumbs up and consider subscribing to our lifestyle podcast, where we always salute the OGs. Rest in peace. Gotcha.